Hello, my name's Lizzie. I'm Anglican. In just over 6 weeks' time, I'm going to be moving into a convent ready to become a postulant. It's the end of the week. I'm about to do my last bit of cleaning for the week, but also my last cleaning ever in this job. So I thought if you're interested, you might like to come around with me and see a bit inside my cleaning world. This tabard I bought from the market a few years ago. I don't have to wear it for the job, but because I've got two different jobs, street pastors and cleaning, in the same building, and I was doing street pastors for a few years already before this job, it just helped people to distinguish which job I was in at any point in the day, so they knew whether to talk to me as cleaner or street pastor person. But it also means that people can ask where the toilets are and stuff if they're inside the building, because they know that I work here. But as I've talked about my jobs in some of my other videos, and when I didn't become a priest, this cleaning tabard almost became my chasuble or stole or something. I even sewed a little tiny cross on the back. I don't know if you can see it in this video, but this just like people might go up to you if you're wearing a dog collar because they know that you're a priest, and that sometimes opens doors to conversations. This has done the same. Like when I've run from here to the cathedral for communion quite a lot, when I've walked through town in my cleaning tabard, I've had so many conversations with people who are in more like low wage or manual jobs, because they saw me just as one of them, and I've had amazing conversations just because I was wearing this. And I've worn this too. Sometimes I've worn it in Eucharist because I thought it was quite symbolic that just like you take the bread and the wine up in the service, that in my mind you're also taking your job up as well, or where you spend most of the week. So I find it quite symbolic sometimes to wear this, so that I'm actually sort of taking my work week, making that part of the Eucharist somehow. And what was it? Like once a year there was I think it was Maundy Thursday, the renewal of the priest vows, and they'd invite lay people as a celebration of lay ministry too. And since the priests were invited to robe up, I thought, well, lay people can robe up too. So I wore this cleaning tabard in those services in previous years as well. Again, just symbolising a way of bringing my work week into the service and to God as well. But anyway, I need to get on with some cleaning, so you can come around with me as much as I can with a phone.
I will hold your people in my heart.
I got this job because I definitely felt called to do the street pastor's job, but it was only part-time, so in order to be able to do the street pastor job, I had to find other part-time jobs. And when I was talking with my priest, who's retired now, about the kind of life that I felt God calling me to, he was the one that introduced me to Charles de Foucault and the Little Brothers and Sisters of Jesus, and their spirituality and way of life is based on Jesus' life in the years when he was a carpenter, when he was just an ordinary person in the community who didn't stand out at all, like before his public ministry, and who just had a normal manual labour job in the community. And even so now, from what I've read about them and heard about them, the Little Brothers and Sisters of Jesus will often work in local shops and factories and have normal manual labour jobs, as a way of imitating, I guess, imitating Jesus' Nazareth years. So I like the fact that I ended up finding this cleaning job that's only part-time, which then supports the fact that I can then, it still enables me to do the street pastor job, and enables me to go to the Eucharist every day as well. But how do I do this with one hand? I have to stop. But yeah, I like the fact that this cleaning job has something that echoes the spirituality of the Little Brothers and Sisters of Jesus.
Being a cleaner's been very eye-opening. It's very interesting how some people will speak down at you when they see you in the cleaning tabard, and yet they'll speak very differently to you when they know you as street pastor coordinator, even though I'm the same person, just because of the different roles. People have spoken to me differently at times, which has been very interesting. And I mean, sometimes people have talked about, like, well, why are you a cleaner when you've got a master's from Oxford and all this? But lots of people are in the same position of having degrees and not necessarily be able to do things with them, or it doesn't necessarily help people like our age find work. So lots of people are in this position, and like I said, this is just a part-time job to support the street pastors ministry that I do. But also it makes me think about I know people from Syria and Afghanistan personally who, when they were back home, they had jobs in like law or like high up teaching in universities, or they were sort of solicitors or that equivalent. And in this country, they're just like cleaners or working in shops or warehouses and things like that. So it's helped me sort of experience something of their own experiences. There's definitely a lot of cleaning or domestic work that's part of religious life. So being a cleaner for a few years has felt like a good transition from a very academic life to the more kind of manual aspects of religious life. But I also feel like God's been able to teach me quite a lot just through the cleaning job. Like, for example, sometimes you can see what a difference you've made, which is nice, but then within a few minutes, the very place that you've just spent ages cleaning gets dirty again. So that there's that constant, when I talk with other cleaners, they've got the same kind of psychological thing they've got to go through of watching all their hard work get destroyed within a few minutes. But when you come from a previous world where so much is about success, and also the world seems so bothered, obsessed with what have you achieved and what have you succeeded. When you've got a job like this, you learn maybe to think out of that box and more in God's way of just doing things for love, whether or not, rather than worrying about what a difference you've made or who's seen what you've done. You learn God wants our motives to be something better than that, like just doing it for God or doing it for love rather than for success and achievement, and to show that you've produced something, and all this kind of stuff that's so that people are so obsessed with in our society. It makes me think of I've got friends who've got babies, and it makes me think actually they must have it so much harder, but I know their lives are a constant round of tidying up and preparing food and then cleaning up after their child, and that's just an endless, like sometimes seemingly thankless task, but they just keep doing that out of love, just endlessly preparing the next meal, feeding their child, cleaning up, going on to prepare the next meal, cleaning up, etc. So this job has actually helped me to think about the life of mums with young children. Just cleaning on my own in silence gives me lots of time just to pray, like maybe praying for people that are going to be using the rooms I've just been cleaning, or praying for the city centre, or sometimes I might just pray in tongues while I'm cleaning. But occasionally the cleaning itself becomes a meditation. So quite often when I'm especially like wiping things, I think about how Jesus would have used his hands very gently with people, and how much he used his hands in his ministry. But then especially like using the brooms and things, sometimes gives me rough hands. And I remember showing Jesus my hand once, saying, look, I've got like calluses on my hands. I've been back in the cleaning cupboard. And I almost felt like Jesus smile and say to me, oh yeah, your hands look more like mine now. And that sort of reminded me that Jesus would have had carpenter hands. And yeah, they would have been gentle, but they wouldn't have been smooth hands. They would have been very rough hands, but because he was a carpenter. Also, with all the wiping and washing and dealing with water that I end up doing, I often find myself thinking about when Jesus washed the disciples' feet. And the more I've thought about it, the more I feel like almost... He tells his disciples to imitate him, but the more I think about it, it feels more like the point wasn't so much... here's an image of servanthood that you should go and wash people's feet. It seemed like more the point was allow yourself to be washed and allow yourself to receive, especially from people that you might not necessarily think that you could receive from, or something like that. So actually, the more I've wiped and washed and thought about Jesus washing feet, the more I've realised that actually, although washing someone's feet seems like a kind of iconic picture of humility, actually, I think allowing ourselves to receive from other people actually quite often requires more humility than doing something very seemingly humble for them. This is the kind of thing that goes on in my head while I'm cleaning.
I can't believe that's the end of my cleaning here. It won't be the end of my cleaning, because I know cleaning's, you definitely get cleaning as part of religious life, as part of the domestic things you need to do. But it's the end of my cleaning here at the Methodist Church, and I'm so grateful to them for giving me this job, because it's meant that I could continue with the street pastor's part-time job. And I'm really grateful to God for giving me this job, and I can see definitely how God's used it to do things in me and show me things and teach me things, and it's definitely felt like it's been a kind of transition to some elements of religious life as well. I was taken out for this church, like the minister and my kind of line manager, supervisor, took me out for lunch the other day, which was really nice as their goodbye and thank you, so that was very kind of them. And I got a really lovely card from the church, signed by lots of members of this church, so that was really nice. Yeah. But no, I don't know, I've met the cleaner that's taking over from me. I did a handover with him the other day, but he won't be wanting this cleaning tabard, so I figured I'd just leave it here in the prayer corner. I can't think of a better suggestion. They can work out what to do with it, but yeah, I'll leave it here in the prayer corner as my way of saying I thank you to God for this job. Nice view of the town hall from here, that's why I keep looking out the window, because we're right on Town Hall Square overlooking the fountain. Two jobs down, one more to leave.